Live. Okay, so um I am getting things ready, so luckily we don't have anyone here yet. So I'm pulling up the training for today. Okay. Present, present, and in fact, I might do this now. Hi Philip. We got Philip on the line. We got Tell me about you, Philip. How did you join this? How did you find this? Were you just finding Substack lives to join? Kavana's here. Teddy is here. Very cool. Okay, we're doing good. We're just hanging out a little early so that people know to come on live. Um, when we go live at 12. So present. Okay, and I'm gonna start the Zoom video. All right, so
Recording in progress.
there we go. We're gonna share screen. Share. Awesome. Okay, so Amy is here. Amy. Hope you're chilling out after the past few weeks. I know you're chilling out from your book launch. Oh, right. Hi. Hey. Okay, so we got 1 minute left. So we're hanging out, and Amy says, "Yes, catching up on emails finally. What an exhale." Yes, I'm sure you're just yeah, so many things going on, which is great, and just also proud of you and so happy for you. And yeah, launches can be kind of intense, but in a good way. Hey, Anita. It's good to see you.
Hey,
Hey.
you be here.
Yes, happy to see you. Happy to hear your voice. Okay. We have some okay. Amy says, by the way, we are beating Robert Kiyosaki in the Amazon bestseller charts. Squeeze me? Just past Rich Dad Poor Dad? What now? Okay, I gotta see for myself. She's she's got a smoking hot book, y'all. Let's see, at Amazon.com. Right for Money and Power. Ooh, oh my gosh, that's exciting. Anita says, awesome. Yes, thumbs up. Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Okay, very cool. Okay, we're at 12 now. And I love to get started and we got people coming in. Colin is here. All right, so let's open up some questions and comments. Anita, you're here. Any takeaways, any ahas, any what on earth's like what have your thoughts been so far on the past 2 days?
Um, it has been quite interesting. I love the way you're presenting the information, so thank you very much for
Good.
everything.
Good.
Yeah, I would say, like, from section one, and certainly the driving home the importance of the pre-launch activity, like
Yeah.
how super important that is.
Yes.
Which is not, you know, something we haven't thought about, right, as authors, but we just, I think, don't realize really the importance of it, sort of getting your street marketing team together, getting folks pumped and primed
Pumped and primed. Like it. Uh-huh.
to help you promote your book. Like, get it
Totally.
out there early. We used, at our company, we used test readers
Hmm.
to improve the manuscript before we get to that final edit.
Totally.
We want to make sure that, it really hits the ideal reader
Hmm.
where we need it to get to them.
Totally.
But then taking that further
Mhm.
with very specific and targeted additional readers, right, to read that pre-launch proof, that advanced copy,
Yep.
and prime them and get them set and committed to write a review
Yeah.
is really, really important on the marketing side. From session two, I think my big takeaway was what? Let me see. Well, in addition to knowing that publishers aren't going to do the marketing for you, you're still responsible no matter what
Yeah.
what type of marketing option you choose. But I think
Hmm.
your main point yesterday was really just marketing your book like a product, not like a brand.
Hmm. Hmm.
It is hugely important. And if anybody missed that, they need to go back and listen to the recording because there's a lot wrapped up in that. So, those
Nice.
are
Awesome. Thanks, Anita. Yes, great. Yeah, so for those on Substack Live who I'm not sure if y'all could hear that, Anita mentioned that, yeah, like from day two, we talked about how there's a difference between marketing brands versus marketing products. And like with marketing a brand, right away, you can start making posts, you can start sending messages, you can start emailing people, and that works great. But when it comes to products, it's if you're like, you have a farmer's market and you have some lotion and no one's there at your booth and you're like, why is no one buying my lotion? It's because people need social proof that your lotion is good to go. And so what do? You ask all your cousins to come to your lotion booth and like start talking it up, start saying, wow, this lotion's amazing. They start creating a line outside your booth and you start giving away samples and you start, creating some buzz. And that is what then draws more people who have, more steps, who don't know you, who have never heard of you, but you can lower their trust threshold by bringing in social proof. And that has clearly what Amy has done. She is now beating Robert Kiyosaki on the Amazon bestseller charts. So, wow. So you guys, today is all about, we're going into detail, the process for actually how this book launch system works. Amy just texted me. She said that they have sold over 1,300 copies. Woo! Okay, this is really awesome. Before the 30 days on Amazon is up. So this is really exciting. So without further ado, let's see how it all comes together. So day one, we talked about your magnetic origin story. And we're going to talk about how that plus all the, we talk about how so Colin here, we've been chatting on DMs and he's been telling me how he's had all these marketing coaches and these sharks who come in and say, we've tried all these different things, but nothing really seems to be working. And we'll talk about why that seems to be a common problem. We talked about that yesterday. But we'll talk about how the 10,000 copies book launch system addresses is an antidote for a lot of these problems. Okay. So again, let's talk about the common problems just really quick. So we hear claims from these sharks online who say the publishing world is rife with these people who say, hey, we're going to upload your book to Amazon and Income Spark for global distribution. But there's no global demand for your book. So just because it's global distributed doesn't mean that people are buying it. But we can create demand and buzz using the techniques that we're going to be showing you in the 10,000 copies book launch system. All right. So there's another problem that hybrid publishers who love to say that we'll execute your launch for you, but they poorly executed the launch. There's an order of operations. Remember how like in math class, there's like an order of operations to actually get the correct answer? This is very similar. Amazon is a predictable science, but the keyword is science. You got to follow the formula in the right order. Now, we know what that order is. And sometimes we hire people because they're Instagram experts, they're YouTube experts. I have been in the trenches on Amazon for the past since like 2020, learning how to do it. And I guess over time, I've become I don't want to say an expert, but I've learned it. I've learned what doesn't work and I've learned what does work. And I'm just teaching you what does work so that you can easily hit #1 Amazon bestseller. Another thing that people say is that they'll give you a date that your book is available on Amazon because a lot of hybrid publishers or publishers, they'll help you upload your book to Amazon. So they'll tell you, hey, on this day, your book is live, right? But they gave you no launch strategy before your book is live. And we talked about in ad nauseum about how the main portion of launching is before your book is live on Amazon. It's like the analogy is like you're on a plane and the plane has a runway to get from zero miles per hour to launching speed, right? And all that's before on that runway. And so we're going to talk about how the 10,000 copies book launch system applies that to the launch and how this is a launch strategy before your book goes live. And then finally, people will tell you that your book is amazing. You know, I've talked to a lot of authors who'd be like, and I'll be wondering why their book isn't selling. I read the book and it's actually a really good book. But then I look at the cover, the title, and the reviews possibly on Amazon, the book description, all of these things are not tight, right? They're the title was confusing, the cover confusing. There's too few reviews. There's only maybe like 20 reviews. All of these things create this unfortunate perfect storm of bad sales. And so we're going to talk about how to create a good Amazon listing, an Amazon profile, Amazon branding value that sells your book practically for you once you drive traffic to it, the right traffic at the right time, right? Okay, so we talked about day one about your magnetic origin story. And so I am like anyone here who knows me, I am a big like reality transurfing manifestation girly. I talk about things in terms of yin and yang. Like Valerie is one of my clients. She is all about the yin and yang. We love talking about how there's a masculine energy, which is structure, which is strategy, which is the things that we can it's like your schedule, your routine on a daily basis where once you have that down pat, now you can in the in-betweens, you can go play, you can go eat, you can play on top of the proven strategy. So the masculine part of this of Smokin' Hot Books is the proven repeatable strategy, the 10,000 copies book launch system. Inside the Smokin' Hot Books world, we call it the lightning book launch method. You might have heard that. You might have seen that on the website. That's what we call it, the lightning book launch method. 10,000 copies book launch system. It's the same. I'm just repurposing it for you so that, it gets your attention and you show up to these things, right? So this strategy involves Amazon. It involves podcasting. It involves incentive structures like bonuses. It involves bulk orders. These are the main pillars of how we incentivize sales of your book. All right. And then on top of that, we got the feminine energy, the yin. We have the yang, we have the yin. And that is you. That's the missing piece. It's you. And it's your magnetic origin story, the thing that can't be replicated, the thing that brings people to you. And that is represented through a really great book, through the viral book formula, a really great podcast episode where you talk in depth about your experience and what you had to go through to get to this point in your entrepreneurial journey, right? Like we talked about Mike Michalowicz and how he has sold 1 million copies of Profit First. He has helped many business owners with Profit First, but he developed that method through a time in his life where he was at rock bottom. And that is what magnetizes us to him. We're like, wow, you're not just another millionaire who's touting great things about yourself. You've been there, you've seen it, and that's what is so magnetic and attractive about him. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do because as an entrepreneur, you are building a cult of personality. You are becoming a storyteller, the face of your author brand. And we need you to kind of step up and become a leader and to best communicate your story. All right. Anita says reality transurfing. Yes. Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were a reality transurfing girly. That's awesome. We can titillate more very soon. Right? So in the middle, we have what is that in between where the magic happens. We have the masculine strategy, we got the feminine thing that can't be replicated. It's you. And we are now incorporating these two, and that's where we start to get word of mouth marketing, virality, people talking about you without you having to be in the room. That's exactly what's happening with Amy right now. These people on social media are purchasing her book that they had never heard of her before and are now joining her paid Substack newsletter because they're attracted to Amy's story and how she made something of herself from her rock bottom moments, while also amplifying that with the proven Amazon launch strategy. So, really cool stuff. Okay. So now let's talk about how it works. There's 4 phases to the 10,000 copies book launch system. Okay, 4 phases. 4 phases. Phase 1 is podcast pitching. So remember, we are in the pre-launch runway. We are building up to the date when our book goes live, and that's when we hit 30,000 feet. But we're not there yet. We're still in the runway phase. We are still gaining momentum. And what do we do at that time? We start pitching to podcasts again, and people who listen to podcasts and people who buy nonfiction how-to books have a strong overlap. It's been shown that 67% of people who have listened to podcasts have purchased a book that they heard about on a podcast. And they have a strong overlap. They love to spend time learning. They love to spend money learning. So strong overlap. So we love pitching to aligned podcasts. Now, here's the problem with podcast pitching is that oftentimes, when we don't know what we're doing, we'll just start, we pick some podcasts that we think will be good and we start kind of like shotgunning. We're just like, yeah, hopefully we'll land some podcast deals and we'll show up on whatever podcast will have us. And then when you get the podcast, you land the podcast, you show up, and then while you're there, you're trying to figure out what to say on the podcast. And you're like, oh no. And then the word spaghetti starts coming out, right? And then when the podcast host starts asking you, okay, so where can we find you and learn more about you? Without a strategy, a lot of people will say, well, find me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, or come to my website, whatever it is. You fumble the call to action, and then you wonder why there's no ROI, right? So this strategy is 100% credited to the person I learned this from. Her name is Kelly Moser from this course called Hell Yes Guest, where she instead reverse engineers the outcome, which is for you to sell books and build your email list from your book. Is that right? Or, I mean, if that's not true, then I don't know why you're still watching this. I need you to go follow someone else. Okay. So the reason that we use a profitable podcast guesting strategy, which means that we design backwards. So we say we want to have a meaningful goal. We want to be on X amount of podcasts before your book goes live. And a common one is like, 20 up to 50. Some people, like James Clear did 100. So it depends on how ambitious you want to be. And then we decide, what are you going to be saying on this podcast based on your magnetic origin story, right? And we develop a call to action based on the bonus structure that we developed. Remember from day 2, we talked about how there is a bonus structure we want to use to say, all you need to do, Amy Porterfield used this, all you need to do to get this bonus is purchase the book that's in the show notes. Just go down to the link in show notes. Now there's incentive. Now there's a reason why people want to buy your book, not just another book. There's so many books. People are peddling books like crazy. And there's no urgency. On social media, there's no urgency. You want to develop some urgency. You want to develop a reason why people want to actually purchase your book. And that's because of your juicy bonus, right? Then once you have your awesome call to action, then you craft your podcast episode. It's like a rinse and repeat. So a lot of people, people always dream about like, oh, I'm going to go on book tour. I'm going to go I'm going to get a publishing deal, and then my publisher is going to send me around the world, and we're going to go on tour, right? And then on tour, what do? You like think about like a music artist. They'll like play the same set list on tour, right? And that's what people think that they do now. But nowadays, the modern book tour is a podcast tour. And so your podcast episode is basically your set list. It's your signature move. It's your signature set list. It's the thing that you do really well. It's your master class. It's your magnetic origin story. It's your expertise, your authority, your authenticity wrapped up into a beautiful episode that you rinse and repeat and align with the other podcasts that you're guesting on, and you rinse and repeat and you become known for the one thing that you want to be known for, right? And at the end, when the podcast host asks you, well, great, thank you so much. We learned so much about you. Where can we learn more about you? And you say, wonderful. I just wrote this awesome book, and all you need to, there's amazing bonus as well. And all you need to do to get this amazing bonus is go down to the link in the show notes where you just purchased the book. You'll get the bonus and you'll be part of my universe, my world, my online world, right? All right. This is what we do with every single client that comes through Smoke and Hot Books. We make an intentional podcasting strategy. And then finally, after that, that's when you choose the right shows. That's when you say, I know exactly which shows would align with the content that I have and the call to action that I have. Okay. Any questions about this? In Substack Live, I don't see any comments in Substack Live, and I am happy to share the slides for this later so that you guys can see how this will work. And here's the thing is that this masterclass, this training, I want this to be something that you could take away, that you could walk away with and start applying immediately for free, right? So let's now talk about how many podcasts you want to be on. So people have that question, right? Well, here's what I've studied. I've studied a lot of different book launches. It's like my kink. I love studying book launches, and I've seen that it's like a really good number is to be on at least 15 to 30 top 10% or higher ranked podcasts in the 4 to 6 months before your launch date, and to also do that after your launch date as well. So that ultimately leads to like 30 to 60 podcasts surrounding your launch date. Now, for some people, they would prefer to do it all after their book goes live. But I do love having some podcasts before your book goes live, because this is what James Clear did, and this is what Amy has done. They record these podcasts, they record these Substack Lives beforehand, and then they ask their hosts to release the episode around their launch date. And so this creates this like atomic bomb of buzz and publicity around your launch date. And so that's where we start, it starts stacking on top of each other. And now it seems like everyone's talking about Amy Sudo, everyone's talking about Malcolm Gladwell, because there was some strategy involved. We want to make it seem like everyone's talking about you in your book. Even though you had been preparing for this several months in advance. Now, Amy Porterfield, Jessica Zweig, they did the bulk of their podcast touring after their book went live, and you can do that too. You absolutely can do that. And Jessica Zweig sold 70,000 copies of her book Be doing that after her book went live as well. These are just some parameters to begin to give you some meat to play with, right? Like, this is what I'm going to try, and this is what I've seen works as well. Any questions about that? Any questions from the audience? Ashley is on. Okay, no questions in the chat. Totally great. If there's no questions, we'll keep on going. But happy to entertain any thoughts or questions, or like, what are you talking about, Renee? So, let's keep going. Okay, so we have covered phase 1, which is podcasting. Podcasting. We love podcasting. Ooh, it's so effective. Phase 2 is now when we're now forming our street team, our focus group, our book army. A lot of people have different words for what this is, but it's like a focus group, right? It's like you have this, for example, if you invented this lip gloss, you would be like, okay, is this any good? So first, I'm going to like find five of my closest friends and I'm going to see what they think about this. And if they like it, then I'm going to start finding five other people and then on and on and on. So your advanced reader group, your focused readers, your advanced readers are essentially that focus group to be that first wave of reviews, of social media sharing, of boots on the ground fangirling about your book. And it's really powerful. Um, it, we have seen Amy has really benefited from it. We see on these slides, this is how my client Valerie has set up her early reader landing page so that people can get an advanced reader copy. And what is really the incentive for someone to be an advanced reader? And a lot of people will be like, no one wants to read an early copy of my book. But I cannot tell you that is the furthest thing from the truth because there's this reputation of authors in society that when you say, hey, I'm an author and I have a free copy of my book to give to you guys before it goes out to the public, people love that shit. They eat it up. When I was launching my Rainwater book, I had 0 Instagram followers. So what did I do? I started canvassing Facebook groups. And I went to these Facebook groups and I said, hey, I'm an author and I have you can get a free copy of this book that's about to go out. And 800 people signed up for this. All right. People love it and they want to be part of something new and groundbreaking and capitalize on that. Use that. Like people love to be part of something, right? We have a picture on the right of my client Beth. She has a special version of her book that was especially created for advanced readers. There was like a watermark in it. There's like a label on the front that says it's not for sale. So there's different techniques that we can use to make sure that you feel like your intellectual property is safe before it gets out before it drops for the greater public. But this is essentially how it works. And Anita had a question on day one about, do you send out physical copies, PDFs? You can do either. But PDFs are they're just so good. Like I only sent out PDFs for my first launch or the rainwater harvesting launch. Actually, it was technically my fourth launch. And I only sent out PDFs and I got 100 reviews in 10 days. So it's very effective. Um, Ashley says, do you guys guarantee 10,000 book sales? And absolutely not. I do not guarantee any kind of book sale. I cannot guarantee how many books you'll sell. In fact, the only guarantee that I can make is that if we work together on execution support, then I can guarantee #1 Amazon bestseller. But otherwise, no, I cannot guarantee how many copies you will sell. Anita says, people want to be among the first to sample something. It makes them feel super special. And definitely, people love to feel VIP. And that's part of human psychology. And in marketing, I'm teaching, this is the marketing gym. Okay. I'm reminding you of your power. And I want you to leverage how other people, they're on a day-to-day basis, they don't feel special. But when you can invite them to something, and make them feel special, they'll move mountains for you. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Ashley says Amazon category #1 bestseller, right? Yes. We can guarantee Amazon category #1 bestseller if we work together on an execution support level. At least one format, in at least one category within the first 90 days of your book being live on Amazon, or else we'll work with you for free until you achieve it. Right? Um, so yeah, that's totally possible. All right. So now think about how when we talked about on like day 1 and day 2, we talked about how Beyonce, when she was marketing her hair care line, she got 18,000 5-star reviews before her book went live not her book, her products went live. And so that's what we're doing too. Okay. We want to create a focus group of about 500 to 1,000 readers who become your launch army. That's a number that I have used. I have been told I have used it and has been very effective for me. Different authors will say 500 to 1,000 is a lot, and so we adapt it. So, for example, like Valerie, her focus group is 100. For other authors, they're like, I'm gonna get 10,000, right? Like, I think like Jamie Kern Lima and like Amy Porterfield, like they have huge focus groups. They have huge audiences. So it's not a big problem for them to get a big focus group going. But this is this is kind of like that average ballpark number I tell people, and it has been very effective. Okay. Um, this is what you need to do in the 3 to 6 months before your book goes live. Send them a PDF of your book. People are very busy. They feel like they don't have a lot of time. And so if you can send it to them early enough, then they'll feel like, oh, okay, there's not a lot of pressure. And so they'll more likely to say, yes, I want to be part of your focus group. And yes, I would love a copy of your book. And yes, I am interested in leaving you a review when your book goes live. Okay. And then I would also keep on them. I would not like just send it to them and then just on launch day be like, "Hey, remember me?" Like during the 3 to 6 months before your launch date, kind of check in with them like, "How are you liking it? Like, where are you with this?" Um, all right. So that that you're on top of mind. Um, so this is exactly how Beth, so one of my clients, Beth, she had only when we started working together, she had 100 email list subscribers. And, for some people that seems like a lot, some people it seems like a little. But through the action of canvassing and sending out copies of her book, she actually doubled the size of her email list through sharing advanced reader copies of her book. So here's the thing is that a lot of people will say, I need a certain audience level before I can publish my book. But I want to say, use your book launch and use the action of your book launch to grow your following and your audience. All right. Anita says you're referring to advanced readers as a focus group. In old school marketing, we ask questions of a focus group. Do you suggest this with advanced readers, or are they simply reading the book and ask to leave a review? And that's a really great question because um, you can do it either way. When I was launching my book, I absolutely the focus group, I asked them for their feedback. I asked them for feedback on the cover, the title, the manuscript, and they felt like and I adjusted the book because of that. Anita says, we ask questions of our beta test readers before the final copy edit. And totally, like you can do both. You can have, so like the most mature version of this is that you have beta readers who are giving you feedback on your manuscript. And you also have advanced readers who, you can even you can lock your manuscript and say, your advanced readers aren't going to you're not going to change anything for your advanced readers. But it's up to you. I recommend saying, I'm not going to change anything after the manuscript is locked, because that just creates all this like chaos and friction and all this stuff. But if someone says something like, hey, like I noticed on the cover there's this really weird thing, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe that's kind of a big deal, and it's like actually great that they pointed it out, well then you can go to your marketing, your cover designer, and say, we need to fix this before your book goes live to the public. Ashley says, are you guys a publisher or a marketing firm? And I'm going to say we're not a publisher. All clients we have worked with are self-published. They own every single piece, royalty, percentage, everything about their books. We are we are a consultancy. We help you become a great marketer and ultimately achieve the heights and the bestseller status and the book sales that you want to achieve, right? So some people call that a marketing firm, some people call that consultancy. I'm your marketing cheerleader. I'm your person who's your marketing strategist. I'm the person that's going to say, here's what you need to do and when. And I got the tools. I like to consider myself sometimes like a bit like a wedding planner. like a lot of self-published authors are like, I got all these things going on and like I don't know how to like manage it all. And I'm like, no problem. Just we got this. I'm gonna take you all the way to the finish line so you have an amazing wedding day and you enjoy every moment of it, right? And that's how Amy is. She's enjoying her book launch for sure. So hopefully that helps with your question. All right. And all right, so now we've talked about phase one, phase two. Phase one was podcasting. Phase two is advanced readers. Phase three, now we're getting into we're now like launching. We're now like we have prepared the runway. We have so far prepared the runway, and now the airplane has gotten enough speed, and now we're taking off. All right, so this is when you hit that yellow publish button on Amazon. So if you aren't familiar, inside Amazon KDP, there's like a publish button. It's like, oh, okay, publish, and it's yellow. Okay, it's kind of like the do not touch button until like with like atomic bombs or something. But we do not hit the yellow publish button until publish date, because Amazon, the first 30 days your book is on Amazon, Amazon in the background is gauging how many sales and how many reviews your book is getting. Why? Because if your book is making money, Amazon makes money, and they love to push books to the top of their bestseller charts that are doing well. Um, it's like you go an inch and Amazon will take you a mile. It's like you adjust your wind sails and Amazon becomes the wind in your sails. And it's really fun and it's really awesome because you do like one thing and it's like whoosh, right? Um, so this is the exact formula that is used by 50,000 students inside publishing.com. And they're making an average of $1,500 a month from book sales alone. This is how my friend Ollie sold 200,000 books. This is how my friend Dan sold 40,000 books. This is how I sold 15,000 books because of this platform mastery. Okay. So again, like some people are like, they consider themselves Instagram experts. Some people consider themselves YouTube experts. We consider ourselves experts in the platform of Amazon. All right. So here's the thing is that it does require mastery. It requires execution excellence. And so, some people have been coming to me and they're saying, I've tried all these things. I've tried all these things. And I'm saying to them, you have actually been paying your tuition to learn how to become a great launcher, a great marketer. Like Amy, her first few books didn't do as well as her current book is doing. And so with each book that she has published, she has learned something. And only just now she has learned enough that it's all come together. And now her latest book is finally it's doing really well, right? Um, number one Amazon bestseller before it was even live. Okay. Amazon gives you 30 days to prove demand. And if you can do really well on Amazon in that first 30 days, your book will actually stay at the top of the Amazon charts for the long term. And if you don't hit this first 30 days, your book will actually fall to what's called like the Amazon graveyard, where it's really hard to find your book. It's like you're getting very little visibility. You're not getting very many sales at all. So it almost feels like you're either like you can do really well and we can like chart you, or you fall down to the bottom of the Amazon graveyard. And when it comes to relaunching books, it has a lot to do with the momentum of your Amazon listing. So if your Amazon listing is at the bottom of the Amazon graveyard, you can't revive it really. That's just how it works. You have to create a new listing and prepare. Again, we've talked about how we're building up to something. I would recommend, actually doing this 4-phase process with this new listing and actually giving that listing the momentum it deserves. Okay. So, but at this point, your book is going viral on Amazon, and with it being in the right categories, it's going to hit number one Amazon easily, right? And we love to put our clients' books into categories where it's easy to hit number one Amazon bestseller. We've also put them into categories where it's actually they have more visibility and more demand. So, for example, Amy, we put her in a category that's easy for her, and then she was hitting it really easily. So we moved her up to a category where it had even more visibility. Maybe it was a little harder to get number one, but now she's also charting that too. So it's just like boom, boom, boom. So we can move you across the board so that you are getting even more visibility. All right. Um, Now, the magic number for your brain is that to chart on Amazon, to think about this, to get Amazon virality, is that in the first 30 days, I want you to plan to get 100 reviews and 500 downloads of your book. And it can be your ebook, it can be your paperback, but if you have that advanced reader group, then perfect. You are already prepared to tell them, "Hey, go buy a copy of this book when the book is live on Amazon." And then you can easily just stack up and rank on Amazon, and Amazon will then take you even further. It's the wind in your sails, all right? And then, oh my gosh, we're on Amazon virality, and then we pour gasoline on the fire. You're already doing really well. Oh, we have a chat. You're already doing really well, and then you can add even more gasoline to the fire with Amazon ads. So Amazon ads absolutely has a role to play. So Amy is running Amazon ads for her book right now. It has, yeah, she said she's experiencing really great sales from that. Anita says, does your bestseller strategy rely on the 99-cent digital launch? And yes and no. We actually have a way of having your book be free for the first 5 days of your book being live on Amazon, so that it can chart on the free Amazon charts. And then, yes, once that is up, we then change it to 99 cents, where it's easy for your focus group to still purchase a copy of your book. And the Amazon loves those downloads, loves, loves, loves. You're getting reviews, you're getting downloads, you're getting sales, and it's Amazon's loving you and pushing you to the top of the charts. So yes and no. So yes, and we also have an extra thing on top of that as well. And then this creates this flywheel effect, right? So we talked about how there's a flywheel. Like, it takes some effort to get it going at first, but once it's going, it gets easier and easier to move the flywheel. And that's how, like with Amy, like there was definitely, like, the past 6 months, there was a lot of preparation. There was a lot of work going into this launch. But now, oh my gosh, like Amy now just, yeah, I mean, I can't keep speaking enough great things about it. Like, she had 400 pre-orders. She was a number one Amazon bestseller before launch. She got a request from the New York Times editor to review her book as a self-published author. Um, Amazing stuff. So really great things. Okay. So that's how the flywheel is in motion. And then that's how you can start charting on the top of Amazon. And that's how you can stay at the top of the Amazon charts. Okay. Otherwise, here's what's at risk. Your book lands in the Amazon graveyard. If you have published a book on Amazon in the past, you actually probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's like the bestsellers rank of your book is like 1 million, and you're getting very few sales, very little visibility, and it's really hard to get out of that. So what I would recommend is to just call that a loss and to just create a new listing for a new book if you want to relaunch your past book, and actually and follow this system for this new listing so that you can actually get momentum for that listing. Okay. Okay. And then finally, phase 4. This is where ROI comes in. This is where you start seeing ROI for your book, right? A lot of questions are like, so what's the ROI of this? Well, it's up to you, right? The best fit for this type of information or this system is someone who already has in mind where they're going to be driving their readers to. Is it going to be to your paid Substack newsletter? Is it then going to be paid to your offers? Is it going to be then to your speaking gigs? Is it to brand deals, TV? What are you going to leverage your book launch for, right? So don't stop. Once your book is charting, that's exactly when you hit the gas pedal, because, oh my gosh, you have momentum. So I would continue for the next 12 months while your book is still fresh. Like, I was just watching a documentary on I think it was no, it wasn't Taylor Swift. Who was it? Oh my gosh. Um, okay, so it was a music artist. Once their album is live, then they're like, great, we're now going on tour for the next 12 months to promote the album, right? So, similar thing. Now your book is doing really well. Oh, it was actually the Andy Samberg movie. If you know, you know. Okay, anyway, um, you go on tour for the next 12 months. So what does that mean? For the next 12 months, you are continuing podcasting, you're continuing speaking, you have a springboard, get on to TV. Like I have a picture here of Beth, my very first client, used the momentum from her book launch to then get on statewide TV. By the way, she had 200 Instagram followers at this time. You don't need 200 or 20,000 Instagram followers to have permission to pitch yourself to TV. No, because her book was an Amazon bestseller, #1 Amazon bestseller, she leveraged that and now used that to get on TV. She get it onto top 2% global podcasts, she got an all expenses paid brand deal. She went on a national book tour in Colorado and Wyoming. From her initial launch of success, right? So use the next 12 months to keep the gas on the pedal. Keep your foot on the gas pedal, I should say. All right. So that is the 4 phases of the 10,000 copies book launch system. Why does it feel so simple? Because it is. Because it is. It is actually so simple, you could have missed it. Again, I want to reiterate how, like, many people will be like, I tried Facebook ads, I tried Amazon ads, and it didn't work for me. And Amazon ads sent to something with 0 momentum. 0 times anything is still 0. We want to get you the momentum. We want to build up to something so that your listing has momentum. And then once it has momentum, we can multiply that momentum with Amazon ads. Um, and then you can chart on Amazon, and there's a build up to it. It's actually so simple, you could have missed it, but this works. It works repeatedly. I've just seen it so many times, time and time again, and the opportunity, the possibility is yours for the taking, okay? So, reality check, like, what's the time? How much time does this take? Time and bandwidth, all right? So, I would recommend it takes focused attention. There's no magic pill. You gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the attention. The attention it takes is 2 to 3 hours a day. And you can, some days you're, like, doing 1 hour, maybe other days you're doing, like, 6 hours, a little bit like that, but average, like, 2 to 3 hours a day. And, you're not working weekends, but, 2 to 3 hours a day, you're reaching out to people, you're pitching to podcasts, you're reaching out to your focus group, to your advanced readers, you're sharing your book with advanced readers. A day for 5 to 6 months during your launch runway, during your build-up phase. You're preparing. You're planning for this. This is like the #1 thing on your mind. Um, Pitching to podcast partners and possibly even corporate partners for bulk orders. This is how. So I have a mentor. Her name is Jessica Zweig. She hit the USA Today bestseller charts because she sold 6,000 copies of her book before it went live through bulk orders, through exchanging 100 copies per. She would speak at their event, and in exchange they bought 100 copies of her book in advance in pre-order phase. So this is how we start moving, going from 100 books at once, going from 1 book at 1 sale to like 100 books in 1 sale. Like let's think big. Let's think big impact. How many people? How can we impact 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people at once rather than just 1 person at once? Okay. During your launch runway, you're rallying your advanced reader team. You're kind of sharing that with them, like, this is what's going on, how you're liking this book. You're also designing your bonus strategy. You're designing your landing pages. You're designing your book funnel so that people know exactly where to go so that to continue working with you in a higher value way once they finish your book. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But compare that to another book launch flop. Like, how emotionally taxing would that be to another flop? The money spent with another flop, like, you're gonna have to spend money. No, even if you do it yourself, you're gonna spend money on your book launch. And if you don't do it right, like, consider that another flop. Like, that would be another devastation. And compare that to doing that over and over and over again. So years of scattered efforts. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like I thought that I would one day sell millions of copies of my book, but you never actually do that. And you never realize the 10x ROI you were hoping for. It's embarrassing. It's shameful. Someone told me one time that they felt really embarrassed from how poorly their book did. And can you imagine that happening again? Like that would feel horrible, right? But there's an opportunity, there's a possibility to actually sell thousands of books and actually become a bestseller. All right. So, for example, like Amy, she's a 7-figure business owner. She actually shifted down operations of her business to focus on her book launch. All right. So that she could focus more on her book launch because she was thinking long term, because she knew that the book launch would end up growing her business. Right. And it has paid off. She was a #1 Amazon bestseller before her book even went live. Her Substack is growing with paid subscribers from her book launch success. The wheel is turning, the flywheel is turning, it's all coming together. Okay. And the flywheel gets easier and easier to turn with each rotation. Right. And now that she's getting more reviews, more sales, more people are knowing about her book, it's easier to sell her book. It's easier to talk about her newsletter. It's easier to grow everything. All right. Questions, thoughts? I'm talking a lot about Amy because she's poster child of great success of what's possible. What's possible. We have a chat. Anita says good stuff. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Okay. So again, this is how you create magic. This is how you create virality. This is how your book and your brand become viral. And I call this inside Smoking Hot Books. We call it marketing alchemy. All right. It's when we mix the masculine, the proven, the repeatable strategy using Amazon, podcasting, Amazon ads, and we mix that with your unique flavor, your story, your magnetic cult of personality. That's how Mike Michalowicz did really well. That's how Robert Kiyosaki did really well. And some people don't really do well with case studies of really famous people, and that's totally fine. But we have seen how this is working for our clients, and this is possible for you too, right? So we have 10 minutes left, and here is the homework. This is the last day of our workshop, and we are now going into the after party for the workshop on Thursday and Friday. And this is a 3-day workshop because this is meant to be, fairly quick. We want to get you guys moving and grooving and thinking about what's possible for you. So here's the day 3 homework, right? We've talked about, what a really good book launch, the reality of a really great book launch entails. 5 to 6 months, if not a little longer. It can be as long as we want technically, but 5 to 6 months of 2 to 3 hours a day of focused work versus another flop, another failed book, years of scattered efforts, never seeing ROI. Versus, again, you actually achieving what you set out to do when you first set out to do this, right? So here's the day 3 homework. And we will have a prize. We're posting this in the chat. If you fill this out, you will get a prize. So your 12-month vision. I want to hear about your 12-month vision. For example, in 12 months, I have sold X thousand copies of my book in the first year. So someone was asking, do you guarantee 10,000 copies of your book? No, I cannot guarantee anything actually. But I have seen how this system has helped people sell hundreds of thousands of copies, helped me sell 15,000 copies, has helped Amy sell over 1,300 copies already in the first 30 days. All right. So 10,000 is actually a buzzword that I hear a lot of you guys say. I want to sell 10,000 copies. I want to sell 10,000 copies. And I'm like, great. Here's the system for it to help you realize your dream. All right. So be specific. Do you want to sell 5,000, 10,000, more? Right? The universe responds to specificity. Okay. In 12 months, the byproducts that came from my massive book launch are X. Are you on your dream podcasts? Are you on your dream speaking gigs? Have you actually launched your speaking career? You said that you've always wanted to do speaking. Well, have you actually started that because someone reached out to you because they saw that you were the author of Being is the New Doing, or whatever book, whatever, that's Valerie's book. How much do you charge per appearance? How much, maybe have you raised your price even more? My friend Nika, once her book went live, she raised the price of her speaking gig from $5,000 to $10,000, and she started landing them. So which outlets are featuring you? Are you now in, I was just featured in Influencer Daily. Maybe you want to step it up. Maybe you want to be in Forbes. Maybe you want to be on Entrepreneur Magazine. In 12 months, I'm experiencing X changes in my revenue, right? Like, for example, Amy, she once gave a copy of her book to a prospect and closed a 6-figure contract from them, and realized that because her book wasn't out there, there was a huge opportunity cost. And so she wanted to get more books out there, because with all those books, that's so many more network effects. That's so many more contracts, so many more 6-figure contracts. And you can say in 12 months, looking back, here's what actually made the difference. Was it actually getting serious and taking this seriously? Was it actually finally saying, I'm not trusting a single guru anymore. I'm trusting myself. I'm not listening to the gurus anymore. I'm going to become an amazing marketer and finally learn what works and what doesn't. I'm going to be in charge of my results. I'm going to create a vision board for myself, and I'm going to actually make my way to achieve it. I'm going to start outsourcing my power and outsourcing my trust. And these people who sell snake oil and all this other stuff, actually, I've been there. I know what that feels like. And to be honest, I didn't really give them that much time. I didn't complain that much. I was just like, I'm on to the next thing. I'm ready to actually master this. And luckily, I guess I did. Yes, I did. I sold 15,000 copies of my latest book. The other ones were total flops. I've published 4 flops in the past. Didn't give up. Amy never gave up. Valerie never gave up. Anne and Michael, they've published tons of books in the 90s and early 2000s, didn't find success. They didn't give up. They just signed up for Viral Author Academy. What will it take for you to actually achieve your vision? Okay. So, here's where we go into, again, to represent the offer, the invitation, the opportunity for possibility for you guys. So there's 2 main ways to make your vision real with Smoking Hot Books, right? Soli says apply for one-on-one mentorship here. Absolutely. If you would like one-on-one help with your book launch, this is what Amy did, and this is what Valerie's doing, you can sign up for book coaching. All right. And what is book coaching? Book coaching is working with a published author, an expert who is here to hold you to your timelines and ensures that you have quality writing. Because traffic sent to a poor book is not going to sell. I'm just going to tell you this right now. But traffic sent to a great book with an excellent market forward title, market forward cover will sell, will convert. I've seen it. You can also hire us for your custom launch strategy, where I develop your launch plan with you. We find your Amazon positioning. We build you a custom launch timeline in Notion. We develop your custom bonus strategy to incentivize pre-orders, to incentivize sales, to incentivize people to buy your book on a podcast and not just breeze by your book, but actually purchase your book. All right. We develop your Amazon bestseller campaign. What categories do you need to be in to be #1 Amazon bestseller and get 100 reviews in less than or equal to 30 days? What's your Amazon ad strategy? We develop that with you so you can pour gasoline on the fire, like what Amy is doing right now. 1,300 copies sold already. Amazing. Just surpassed Rich Dad Poor Dad. We develop your social media email nurture sequence strategy with you. and we give you a research list of laser-focused top 10% or higher. So, some clients are like, I want to be in the top 1 to 5%. Absolutely, we can find that for you. We'll give you 50 of those. Laser-focused, researched, the ones that are fit for you. And finally, if you want to hire us for one-on-one execution support, where we execute for you, we pitched a podcast for you, we launch on Amazon for you, we we execute on Amazon in the correct order of operations for you, so that you can surpass Rich Dad Poor Dad on Amazon. You can also hire us for that. Launch for you, pitch a podcast for you, build your book funnel for you. All right. One-on-one VIP mentorship, Solely just put the link in the chat, starts at $10K, application only. If that is something that you are wanting to do, you can go to the link in the chat, and we'll also send it out through Substack as well. All right. Now, if you are interested in the group level mentorship, Viral Author Academy, for sure. This is great for those who are wanting group level mentorship. And some people are like, well, this is just another course. This is just like another thing. Like, maybe it is. If you think that it will be, it will be. But if you think that if you go into this, if you went to a gym and you go in thinking this is just another gym. This is just another gym that's trying to take my money and I'm never going to get fit and I'm never going to actually lose the weight that I said that I will. Well, guess what? You will. You will get exactly what you said that you wanted to do. That gym will not help you lose weight and keep it off. But if you go into a gym saying, I'm going to find a way for this gym to help me become the kind of person that keeps the weight off, great. Concept or writing have a big influence on success. And it can, because every market does have a size. However, I have seen some books do poorly. I have seen some books do really well. Some people will say, well, harvesting rainwater is not a very profitable big niche. However, I sold over 15,000 copies of a harvesting rainwater book. And so if you're writing in business, self-help, health, relationships, you have the opportunity to sell more than 50,000 copies. I can guarantee you that, because those are the biggest niches on Amazon and elsewhere as well. Okay. Colin, is there a specific category of book that you are curious about and wanting? I can look on Amazon really quick. I have this really cool tool. But that's a really great question. All right. So Viral Author Academy is a dojo. It's the place where people they climb the mountain and they become a great marketer. It's where I challenge you every single week to change your thinking, your thoughts, your beliefs, what you know and believe about marketing, about sales, about why your book is shitty, where your cover was shitty, why your title was shitty. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And the right people who need to be in Viral Author Academy need that honesty. Right? Colin says, my next book will be on self-help. Self-help is by far the biggest category. It is also the most competitive category. And that's why Amazon positioning is going to be a benefit to a book on self-help, Colin, and anyone else who's writing on self-help, because that's where we look for the blue ocean of self-help books on Amazon. There's dozens and dozens, if not thousands, of self-help books. We want to find the ones that are doing well. We want to find why they're doing well. We want to find the tangential positioning. Why are they going? Why are they doing well? And how can we break that mold artfully? We do this by studying Amazon. We study the books. We study the words that they're using. We study how many reviews they have. We study their positioning, what they're advertising off of. Perfect. That gives us a way to piggyback off of that in a way that gives you blue ocean positioning on Amazon. Your book is nothing like the other ones because we know exactly what they're talking about and we know what your book is talking about, and we can position your book accordingly. Okay. Now, again, Viral Author Academy, it is the dojo. It is the dojo. I'm not interested in working with people who are like, no. this is the place where people are tired of failing and they're ready to actually own their success. So we have 2x weekly group coaching. I have not seen any other marketing program that does that. The reason I do that is because I care that much. I'm just like, stop thinking that sales is wrong. Stop thinking that your cover is good. Like, we need to adjust the way that you see the world. We need to change your identity. You need to become unrecognizable so that you can be, do, then have an amazing author expert career. But you can only do that by changing your identity. And we do that inside Viral Author Academy. We have public speaking confidence training so that when you go on that podcast and someone asks you this crazy ass question and you're like, you don't flubber the answer. You're steady within yourself. You're identified with the great unknown, with the all. Oh, great. And you've practiced this a dozen times during the Viral Author Academy public speaking training. You know exactly what to say. Boom, boom, boom. Next, we have a private community of ambitious author experts, totally priceless. And we have extended the bonus, and it expires on Sunday night. So today is Wednesday, right? Yes, Wednesday. So today is Wednesday. And if you are interested in Viral Author Academy, reach out to me. I'll reach out to you, to be honest. And we'll talk about if Viral Author Academy is for you and if this is for you. And if you sign up by Sunday night, which, by the way, the price increases on Sunday, actually on Monday, the price increases at Sunday midnight. All right. So if you want to get in at $3,000, so the price is currently $3,000. This program started out as $500 last year, and we have gotten people in. We're hovering at around 3,000, possibly more. The price is increasing on Sunday. And if you want to get in at this price, now's the time to do it. Okay. If you do that, you get this awesome bonus: proven book launch email sequences for your launch, my swipe file for that. Okay. So Lee has a link in the chat. All right. Thank you, So Lee. Amazing job. And any questions? We have Greg on about that. Okay, we're at the end of our slides. Any other questions? So Colin says, is a cat okay, yeah. So we answered that question. It was a really great question. I was once Colin, this is related to your question about category. I was once talking to an author who specializes in helping consultants price their offers. He considers himself a pricing consultant. And he was complaining to me about how the pricing niche wasn't as big as potentially the self-help niche. And that was why his book wasn't doing well. And I told him about how the Harvesting Rainwater book, which is, business is, number one, probably, maybe behind like number two with like relationships. But business is number two in terms of size of niche. And if a rainwater harvesting book can sell 15,000 copies, a business book can absolutely sell more than that. Ashley says, need to run, but thank you for sharing everything. Absolutely, Ashley. Thanks for joining. And it's all about how you position it. Okay. You can learn how to position inside Viral Author Academy. I work with you one-on-one to help you position your book inside the one-on-one VIP mentorship. This is great. The custom launch strategy, you will jump right into Amazon positioning if you decide to go with that. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. This has been a great workshop. We will be extending the workshop over the next few days into Thursday and Friday. We're going into our after party. And if you have really been enjoying the energy of this workshop, we are continuing it on into Thursday and Friday. And you can still come and get your little fix and pretend that you are finding success. But until you take action, you won't. So let's just be real. So we're extending the workshop. We got after party Thursday, Friday. The cart for Viral Author Academy closes next week, but the price increases on Sunday. So Sunday is a great deadline to keep in mind. If you sign up by Sunday, you will get the fast action bonus, which is my swipe file of proven book launch email sequences for your launch. All right. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Talk soon. Bye.